All right, shalom, shalom. It's your brother AHBAD from AHBAD, Peterborough, Florida. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHEM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHEM, B'chak double honors to my elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Single honor salutation to all your sensitive brothers, constantly preaching word, truth, sincerity in the four corners of the earth. I also want to say, peace and blessing be into all the sensitive men, women, and children that consist of the 1/3. And I also want to say peace and blessings be to all the confusion facing the four corners of the earth. Shalom, peace and blessings be unto you all. As you can see by the title, this is why we call it a double 1492 Christopher Columbus, all right? Cristobal Colon, so to say. He played himself out to be an Italian, which is really another, is a so-called white man, an Edomite. But he was really a so-called Jew, all right? That's another story. But basically, I want to get into the top 5 atrocities committed by Cristobal Columbus. All right. I'm just get straight to the point, just to prove why we say the so-called white man is the devil. All right. It's difficult to think of a more perverse hero. They even call this individual a hero than Cristobal Columbus, the Italian. He was really an Edomite. He's an Edomite. Let's just put it like that. Who led Europe's first landing party in the Americas. All right. It says from rape to pillage to flat out murder. Columbus and his men were the first Europeans, Edomites, to commit horrendous atrocities against America's indigenous people. And the people that was living here predominantly would be the Northern Kingdom, the Spanish-speaking tribes, and the so-called Native American tribes. Now it says the following list describes a sampling of reasons why Columbus was an awful person, with information drawn from Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States. Now, before I go any further, I looked up a little information on this man. He was an American historian. He was descended from some Jewish people, so to say. But this is something that he said, that a quote he stated that I really wanted you to listen to. He said, "There is no flag large enough to cover the shame of killing innocent people." I was like, wow, coming from this individual, that's pretty profound. And you know, they take pride in the American flag, so to say. That's why if you ever look at our army fatigue or army officers gear, I'm sorry, his outfit, his attire, you always see the American flag opposite direction. And if you ask them why, they say they say that these colors never run. All right, meaning that they are always swift to evil, swift to subjugate another land, all right, or another people. And it says dissent is the highest form of patriotism. And when you go into the word dissent, it means to not go against and oppose an opinion. All right. So the so-called white man, woman, and child, they're not going to ever go against them having this land or how they got this land. They don't even have a problem with it. Now, you may have those who quote unquote want to have peace and everything, but you still reap the benefits of what your forefathers have done. So you're not really against it, because you claim to say, yeah, you're a proud American. You think everyone should be equal, but you're proud to be an American. Well, guess how America was founded? By rape, rob, and murder. All right. And that's what it means to be patriotic. Patriotic means to be for your homeland, which is not really your homeland, or to stand up for your country. So anyways, let me go up into a little bit more information. This is from a book from a so-called Jewish man, Howard Zinn, A People's History of the United States, and they should teach this in school. But everybody loved Columbus Day, right? He said we could subjugate them all. In other words, put them all under subjection to him. Look at that devil, man. All right. It says in his journal. In his journal, Columbus didn't mince words about his intentions after meeting the Arawak natives in the Bahamas. And listen, I'm gonna just go ahead and just say this is for the Northern Kingdom, all right? Even though when he landed down in Hispaniola, which is to modern day is known as Haiti and the Dominican Republic, he did a great slaughter to all of the so-called Taino and Arawak Indians, who would be the Northern Kingdom, all right? Understand that. It says in 1492. He described the encounter thusly: "They brought us parrots and balls of cotton and spears and many other things. They willingly traded everything they owned. They were well built with good body and handsome features. They do not bear arms and do not know them, for I showed them a sword. They took it by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. They have no iron, their spears are made of cane. They will make fine servants." So in his mind, he's thinking, oh, we can easily take them over, because our people are peaceful people, first and foremost. All right, they actually came bearing gifts, which is the same thing the Native Americans did, so-called Native Americans. With 50 men, we could subjugate them all and make them do whatever we want. Columbus would add, as soon as I arrived in the Indies, on the first island which I found, I took some of the natives by force in order that they might learn and might give me information of whatever there is in these parts. That's why when you go into the story of Squanto, they say that when they arrived, he basically said hello to them in English, because you stole some of the Northern Kingdom people, some of the Northern Kingdoms, some of the Northern tribes, and you took them over to Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand, so that you hope that they would actually help you fund to go back on another voyage to go back to the Hispaniola and the islands, man. But anyway, that's another story. So a point I want to get at is where it says, he said, for I showed them a sword, and they took it by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. Let's go into Genesis chapter 27, verse 41. All right. And this is Esau crying so that he can get him a blessing. All right. Well, not 41. I'm going to start at 38. Because Esau, it was in the Lord's favor for Jacob, our forefather, to get the blessing. He supplanted Esau. He didn't steal it. He supplanted him. He gave him the red meat and the lentils. And Esau went about crying to Isaac, our forefather, too. He said, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. That's why in Hebrews, the 12th chapter, 16 verse, it said, if there be so a profane person as Esau, who from one morsel of meat sold his birthright. He said, even though he sought it carefully with tears, there was no place of repentance for him. Why? Because he wanted to get the blessing back. And it said, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. Job 9:24, the earth given to the hands of the wicked. Who is the board of wickedness? Esau, Edom, and tell you that in Malachi, the 1st chapter. But this is the point I want you to listen to. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off his neck. But this is the point where it says right here, and by thy sword shalt thou live. And what did it say here in this article? He said, for I showed them a sword, they took it by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. And he said they will make fine servants. All right. So they was quick to want to what? Subjugate and take the land. And ever since 1492, really from the Renaissance to 1492 up until now, the so-called white Esau, Edom, he really controlled the whole world. But all the way from Alaska, all right, North America, Mexico, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean islands, Esau got all of that. They really controlled the entire Western Hemisphere of the world. Like during the time of Alexander the Greek, during 323, they what? Controlled the known world, all right? So anyways, I want to prove a point too that also that the Northern Kingdom, the Spanish-speaking tribe, they also fit the curses as well. All right, especially this one too. Think about it. He said that he took some of the quote-unquote Taino Indians, the Northern Kingdom tribes, to Spain, so they went there on ships as well. Listen to this. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. I bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Now break that down. It says, shall bring you into Egypt again. When you go into the word Egypt in the blue letter, it's Matazarian, which means double straights. All right. Shalom, Maki, YAHAWASHI, MILLSTONE, Bashir, Hakadash, Barakatah. Blessing to you. When you go into the word Egypt, you go back to the word Matazarian. Matazarian means double straights, S-T-R-A-I-T. And that word straight means to a path of difficulty, you know, like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. So the Lord said, I'm going to bring you back into a path of difficulty, into bondage again. Because he said, we shall be sold unto our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. And see what no more? The land of Israel, okay? And no man shall buy you, meaning when you go into the word buy, it means no man shall save you, okay? And that's what happened. We still over here in captivity and bondage under the so-called white man, woman, and child today, all right? So you prove a point as well with that Egypt. I pulled up a little map. This is if you look at the red, all right, this is the journey that we took to get into the land of Israel. You know, we had to take a little journey, you know, a little what did it say right here? Journey of the way. And that's in the way, I can't see it. Journey of the Israelites through the wilderness. Because the Lord had us go all the way around and come about to get up into Israel, all right? But you see, we had to go through the water right here. This little part right here, of course, because you know that's when the Lord split the sea. But even if you didn't have to go through the water, see, look, you could have easily walked toward the land of the Philistines right here. You could have easily walked on that land. So when the Lord said, I'm going to bring you into Egypt again with ships, it's spiritually talking about America, okay? And I'm going to bring that out right now. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually, all right, hold on one moment, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Now, what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed because they was doing what? Committing homosexual acts, you know, lesbianism and bestiality. Now, when they first legalized same-sex marriage in America, what was the first state to do it? It was Massachusetts. And what's the slogan for Massachusetts? The spirit of America. Wow. Like Florida has their own, called the Sunshine State. The first state that actually legalized same-sex marriage was what? Massachusetts, and their slogan is the spirit of America. Hello, spiritually Sodom and Egypt, because right now we are over here in America. We still in bondage like we were in ancient Egypt. And look at this. That's not the image I want to pull out. So lock it. This is the image I want to pull out. Just to prove this out, prove this point. You see on the back of the dollar bill, what is there? A pyramid. Lo and behold, because Esau, they take on a lot of customs of the Hamites, and the Egyptians were Hamites, man. All right, you look up Ham in the Bible Zondervan Bible dictionary. It'll show you that he's the forefather of the Egyptians and the people from Sudanese and Congo and all them other areas in Africa. All right, and the word Nua Coeptus, it means, loosely translated, it means God has favored our undertaking. All right, but anyways, let me back up out of this real quick. Salakia. So Shalakia. Let's get back to the article I was looking at. Dang, Satan. Come on now. So let's get back to this article. Provide another point. So it says slavery and gold. This is the second part about why we say the so-called white man, why you are the devil. 14 out of 2. All right. What they say right here. It says look, they even made postage stamps of his first voice to the America. And they did the same thing with a book called Without Sanctuary. They actually took photos of them hanging us, burning us alive, and then they will turn them into postcards and send them to their relatives, the so-called white man, woman, and child, the Edomites, and say, look, we had a picnic. And what's a picnic? Well, they have a little girl pick one of us and say, it's basically called pick a nigga, and whichever one that she picked, they will hang up, all right? And the barbecues when they would burn us alive, man, all right? So they took pride in what they did. Even made postages here, and they got a book called Without Sanctuary. But let me get to this article again. Columbus had 2 goals in the Caribbean: to find gold and slaves. Columbus returned home to Spain and came back to the Caribbean with 17 ships and 1,200 men. His men traveled from island to island, taking Indians, so-called Arawak or Taino, in other words, Northern Kingdom, Northern Tribe Israelites. In 1495, in a large slave raid, Columbus and his men rounded up 1,500 Arawak Israelite men, women, and children and put them in pens like animals, okay? They selected what they considered the best natives and loaded them onto ships back to Spain. That's why I brought out Deuteronomy 28 and 68. 200 died en route. After the survivors were sold as slaves in Spain, Columbus later wrote, let us, listen to this, man, devils, let us in the name of the Holy Trinity go on sending all the slaves that could be sold. That's exactly what he said, okay? In the Holy Trinity, all right? Sending all the slaves that can be sold. So let me go to Exodus 21 and 16. This is what the Lord said. He said, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. But you actually wrote in the journal that you actually said to the Holy Trinity, let you sell us, man. All right. So, hey, you fit in prophecy, man. We showing who the son of perdition, and we showing that you are Esau, Edom. You are the wicked of the Bible. Now, check this out. Just to prove a point that him writing that is stating that is also spiritual and biblical. Listen to what they say. Zechariah 11 and 4. It said, thus saith the Lord my God, feed the flock of the slaughter. All right, whose possessors slay them, we still in their possession, and they still slay us to this day, and hold themselves not guilty. You know, like the centurion, the police officer today, they could shoot you down, kill you, and then they get 2 weeks paid vacation, and they held not guilty. And they that sell thee say, listen to this: blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Now, that's not exactly how he said it, but think about what he just said right here. Let us, in the name of the Holy Trinity, go on sending all the slaves that can be sold, man. All right, that's written right there in his journal as well. All right. So now going out to the third part, okay, it says, but slaves weren't enough for Columbus or the Spanish monarchy. Columbus needed to bring back gold. Columbus and his crew believed there were gold fields in the province of Chile on Haiti. Forgive me for not pronouncing it correctly. And he and his men ordered all natives 14 years or older to collect a certain amount of gold every 3 months. Man, this is very wicked, man. Listen to this. Natives who didn't collect enough gold had their hands cut off. But it was an impossible task. There was virtually no gold around and only a little dust in streams. Many natives fled and were consequently hunted down and killed by the Spaniards, man. All right, so, I mean, there wasn't even enough. They said virtually there wasn't any gold there, man. So you didn't even show them any mercy. But listen to what the Lord said. This is James 2:13. For he shall have judgment without mercy that had showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment, man. So the judgment you did to the so-called Taino and Arawak Indians, the Northern Kingdom, it was uncalled for. There's virtually no gold that you cut their hands off because they wasn't getting a substantial amount of gold. And they remind me in the movie 12 Years a Slave when Patsy was gathering more cotton than the rest of the other slaves, so to say, or the other jakes, man. And if they ain't getting a certain amount or more than they did previously, they would get whipped, man. This Esau Edom all over again, man. Same individuals, man. Just different times and different lands. All right. Now this is the cruelty of these devils too, man. It said if captivity, Salakia, bear with me. It says if captivity and death weren't enough, Columbus and his men had a particular reputation for cruelty. You gotta listen to this. Bartolome de las Casas, a young priest who participated in the conquest of Cuba, that's why I say all northern, and wrote a history of the Indies, described the treatment of the natives. Endless testimonies prove the mild and pacific temperament of the natives. They were still humble, still mild-mannered. But our work, and it's really the Spirit of the Lord that did that, but our work was to exasperate, ravage, kill, mangle, and destroy. Small wonder then if they tried to kill one of us now and then. That's why if you go and kill a police officer today, man, they'll shut the whole city down, all right? So it seldomly happened. The admiral, it is true, was blind as those who came after him, and he was so anxious to please the king that he committed irreparable crimes against the Israelites. Las Casas describes how Spaniards rode on the back of natives, man, treating them like animals, like donkeys. How the Spaniards thought nothing of knifing Indians, Israelites, by 10s and 20s, and of cutting slices off them to test the sharpness of their blades. Are you kidding me? Las Casas adds, two of these so-called Christians met two Indian boys one day, two Israelite boys one day, each carrying a parrot. They took the parrot and for fun beheaded the boys, man. So they, for fun, man, they did that. They murdered our people just for fun. That's why it says the cruelty of Esau Edom, man. That's why the Lord said he gonna show no mercy. He gonna show no mercy, man, toward them who have showed no mercy, man. Understand? That's why I'm going to Malachi. Malachi chapter 1, verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? And today you be like, we supposed to be the Lord's people. Why are we the predicament we in? Well, you have to read prior. You have to read what we were doing and the wickedness and the spiritual fornication that we was acting and participating in when it came to the Lord, breaking us. We saw all the miracles in Egypt. We saw him split the Red Sea. He fed us in the wilderness. He gave us a land, gave us a holy royal heritage, and we just want to be heathen. So this is what happened to us. But the Lord said he's gonna bring us up out of it. So that's why he said, I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Because Esau sold his birthright, man. So the Lord said, listen, I've given you the blessing above all blessings. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. That's coming up out of the Renaissance. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. Think about Isaiah 14:21. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, the beginning of wickedness. And that started back in the time of Alexander the Greek. Read what is it? Read First Maccabees, the first chapter, like the first 11 verses, all right? It tell you Antiochus Epiphanes was that wicked root, okay? And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. The Lord hath indignation against Esau, Edom, so-called white man, woman, and child forever. Understand that? Okay? And indignation means righteous anger, man. He has a righteous anger. And I'm going to read this last part of this article. Mass genocide. Mass genocide. Facing extermination, the Arawak, the Israelites, organized and intended to fight back against the Spaniards, but they were little match against the armor, muskets, swords, and horses of the Europeans, the Edomites. The Spaniards, Edomites, hung or burned Indians, Israelites that they took captive. By this point, the Arawaks, Israelites, began committing mass suicide. So they would just rather kill themselves, man, rather than have them devils take them and their children. They fed cassava poison to their infants to save them from the Spanish Edomites. In 2 years, all right, half of the 250,000 Israelites on Haiti were dead. That's why Haiti, go back to I think the Greek word Hades, which means the underworld or hell. All right. Because that's really what it was. Either through murder, mutilation, or suicide. By 1550, there were 500 Israelites. By 1650, the Israelite had been wiped out from the island. Damn, they just wiped out, obliterated, man, from these devils, man. And that's another reason why Ephraim is known as a parium, fruitful, man. Because it was damn near like 500 of all of them there. And look at where we at right now, man. We are a fruitful nation, a fruitful people, man. Okay? Hey, like they said in the movie Baby Kids, we don't die, we multiply. All right, you know, but nonetheless though, man, this is very atrocious, man, what happened to our people. Understand that? And this is what they done. I'm gonna pull out some pictures real quick, and I'm gonna read these last couple of scriptures, and I'm gonna close out. This is what happened in Saint Domingo in Haiti. All right, I can't read that. What it say? Revolt General Massacre das Blanca. It says Revolt General das Negras Massacre das Blanca. Lo and behold, man. Hey, brother, it's just all through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, man. We all need to know who our enemy is, man. It's not us, man. You know, and we just striving for perfection, my brother. That's all it is. And going over to the next picture, Salakia. This is the next picture. All right, Columbus men, Edomite men, raped, tortured, slaughtered the northern kingdom, man. Look, they used to sick dogs on them, and the dogs would eat them alive, man. Think about the movie Django. They did that with that one Jake who ran off because he didn't want to get back into those what they call them Mandingo fighting. He said, boy, hey man, you still owe me a few more fights. He said, I want to do it. He let them dogs loose on the man. He ate that man alive. Same tactics, man. And look at this one, genocide. Within 40 years, the entire Taino population was killed, so to say. And look at this, too. This is what they used to do. They used to hang at least 12. It was really it'd be 13, but they would hang 12 of them up there. Why? In representation of the 12 tribes of Israel and the 12 disciples, too. 1, 2, 3, I think there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wow, lo and behold. And look at this image right here. He got a baby, he got an infant child by their legs and finna toss them. But look at what they're doing right here, man. They are burning them alive. This is called a gibbet. This little piece right here, this structure. A gibbet, man. They hung them from their necks. All right. Their hands are behind them tied. They laying up there naked, and then they lighting a fire beneath them. Are you kidding me? And then when we say they go into slavery, they looking like we crazy. They don't lost their damn mind, man. Through the spirit and power YAHAWASHI, they will pay for it. I got 3 more precepts, and I'm gonna close out through the spirit and power YAHAWASHI. My grandfather was from Spain. I was afraid I was a Spaniard for the longest of time in the past, but now I know I'm not. Call along like YAHAWASHI. Yeah, I know some Ephraimites too, man. The brothers Ashemayam, you know. I think they full, but they showed the picture of their grandfather. He was very dark though, but he came from Spain though. But that doesn't mean anything. Just it's all about the spirit, brother. It's all about the spirit, man. The spirit bear witness with that, you know. And you doing the work, you know. Hey, the scripture saying in Daniel the 12th chapter, it said, matter of fact, let me just pull it real quick, and I'm gonna get back to this lesson real quick. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull at the end. Get back on Esau real quick. I got you. This is Galatians 6 and 7. It said, "Be not deceived, Yahweh was not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he that shall he also reap. You pursue blood. You pursue the. It's tell you that in Ezekiel, man. Since you have loved blood, blood shall pursue thee. All right, it clearly said that, man. Colossians 3:25. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he have done, and there is no respect of persons. And when I say there's no respect of person through the Spirit and play YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, man, hey, that respected person goes back to anybody that's a part of your nation, because the whole nation of Israel had to go into slavery, and so would Esau, Edom, go into slavery. And I'm gonna pull out one precept just to prove that point. This is Acts chapter 7 verse 6. I'm gonna start at 5. And he gave him none inheritance in it, no, not so much as to set his foot on. Yet he promised that he would give it to him for possession and to his seed after him, when as yet he had no child. Talking about Abraham. Now check this out. And God, Yahweh, spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage and entreat them evil 400 years. Now that happened in ancient Egypt. And I remember earlier I said that we are spiritually in Sodom and Egypt right now. In the nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge, saith Yahweh. And after that shall they come forth and serve me in this place. So even though you so-called white people that claim you didn't do anything with, you had nothing to do with slavery, but you know, we know that reincarnation is in the Bible. You are still reaping the benefits. You are accessory to murder. And guess what? There is no statutory limitations when it comes to murder, man. So you're gonna have to pay for it anyway. The whole nation had to go into slavery. You gonna have to go into slavery too. That's why the Lord said he gonna judge that nation, because they're not the Lord, they're not the Heavenly Father heart and Pharaoh's heart. But did not the Lord kill all the firstborn of the nation of the Egyptians, the Matazarians? The Lord did that to the women, to the man that plows the field, to the man that's actually a blacksmith. It did not matter. He tried the whole nation, man. All right, there was a cry throughout the whole land. Okay, so the whole nation of Esau, Edom, you got to go into slavery as well. It does not even matter, man. But this was for you, brother, just so you can be confident in mind through the Spirit. This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white. Salakia. Dang, that's just Satan right now. It said, many shall be purified and made white. Now, when it say made white, it don't mean like physically in your flesh. It means that we're gonna get those Shalom, Maki, how about Shema Shai by Shema Kakadash Brakatah? Oh man, you came right at the end, brother. He going down though. Esau gonna get the scriptural word. And Esau fleeing from this truth, brother. You know the truth on the bottom of him, John 8:44. But Daniel 12 and 10. I'm about to close out though, but I pray that you watch one. Many shall be purified and made white and tried. Now, what does that mean, made white? That don't mean your flesh. That goes back into Revelation, the 14th chapter, all right? Because we're going to be pure. We're going to be white. We're going to be cleansed with them white robe. And that goes back to, I believe it's 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter as well, too. We're going to be crowned by YAHAWASHI. But this is the part for you, brother, because you understand this truth, right? But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. So, hey, regardless of what you came from, Spain or Portugal or whatever, man, remember, brother, we've been spread to the four corners of the earth. And earlier in the video, remember I said they took some of the Taino or Arawak, or like I always just say, the Israelite, the Northern King, they took some of them to Spain, man. So it's not far-fetched. Like I said, it's two brothers up in Tampa. You know, GMS Tampa, man. I think they say their grandfather came from Spain, but he was dark skinned. But nonetheless, though, whether or not he dark skinned, them brothers still got the Spirit. That's the point I'm getting at. So if the Spirit's on you, can understand these things, man. Don't even worry about that. You doing the work, right? Like the scriptures say, man, the wicked shall not understand, man. The wicked shall do wickedly. Let me see what this brother dropped, man. Psalms 11 and 5. Yahweh trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence his soul hateth. Exactly, brother. Verse 6. Psalms 11 and 6. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. And they gotta have to drink that cup, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna close out with this precept. I'm glad you said that. You mentioned that cup. Ooh, let me close out with this precept, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all brothers, man. It's just a spirit. I can't control the spirit, you know. Spirit like the wind, right? So this is dang, come on now. Say Jeremiah, you probably know I'm going Jeremiah 49:12. I'm gonna close out with this precept. And it says, for thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup, because we weren't supposed to go through this, but it was already predestined, have surely a drunken, And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. And listen, the brother with diagrams of Basra, you the reason why I'm breaking this precept out. And it's gonna mention something in here. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. That's talking about Esau, Edom. And what did they say? Who is this that come from who is this that come with the dyed garments from Basra? Come on, man. That's the spirit for you to be logged on for me to bring that one out. That's beautiful, man. Hey, we're gonna get our vengeance in that day. And it's beautiful. Brother in the camp, Kanakala, he did the video. I need to watch it. But it's basically saying that, hey, we're not in our kingdom yet. Esau going down, we're bringing out this heat. They can't stand it. They gonna come down on us, but until we go on them chariots, man, hey man, we gotta keep working, man. We gotta keep working. Hey, fuego, like you say, fuego, man. Caliente. Muy caliente. But hey, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, I pray you was edified, and I pray that you, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, you heat these back up in the oven and you eat this meal. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, I want to say, call her Logan like Yahweh Shema Yahweh Shai, by Shim Chakadash, the bonus to the elder apostles, great millstone who rule well, sing under salutation to all you sons and brothers, this constantly push your word, truth, sincerity, in the four corners of the earth. Peace and blessings be unto all the sons and men, women, and children that consist of the 1/3 who are also members of the body of Yahweh Shai. And I always gonna say this about you, brothers, man. Peace and blessings be to all you confusion faces out there that believe in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. Like I always say, man, ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing, stay humble, remain diligent, man. Quote me out, Allah, my wolf level ball, man. Hey, through the spirit, man. Hey, it's there. It's out there on that Psalms 19, man.